Hello all. My name is Siobhan Lewis, and I will be presenting on audiologic and oral rehabilitation concerns in the Korean population. As I move through the presentation, the majority of the information will refer to South Korea based on available research. Let's begin with taking a look at Korean culture. This population's language and communication styles vary as it holds an influence based on the English language. Korean is not the dominant language due to Korean Americans successfully acquiring use of English. Many Koreans speak Korean and write in their heritage language of Hangul. Different from other Chinese dialects, this language is phonetic rather than holding a big focus on intonation. This culture employs indirect communication by head nodding and nonverbal communication cues of eye contact, facial expression, and timing of silence and verbal exchanges. The family and household structure mostly focuses on the position of the oldest male. The oldest male will make the decisions, and the oldest son assumes responsibility once parental figures cannot do so. Families who live in urban parts of Korea house around 4 people, while families in rural parts house 5. All households follow the standard that men and women live in separate rooms on opposite ends because a woman's room is seen as a special place where they can be alone. The Korean population holds many values. Harmony is seen as a necessary factor for existence, and the greatest honor placed on a child to give their parents is achievement in education. Many times, parents avoid giving praise to their children as well as avoid others giving their children praise because it is believed an evil spirit may hear the compliments and try to steal the child. Statista Research Department affirms that in 2021, there were around 411.8 thousand people registered as having a hearing disability in South Korea. This is the highest figure since 2003. I have only shown the steep upward trend from the last 7 years, as before 2015, there was a plateau at 302,000 registered cases. Chang et al. Let us know that South Asia has the highest prevalence of hearing loss at 27%, and some low-income regions have twice the prevalence of hearing loss of high-income regions. With this information, we can now ask, what are the cultural norms regarding disabilities in Korea? Korean views and attitudes toward individuals with disabilities are generally negative. Family members believe the disability is detrimental to their social standing, so they try to hide the individual with disabilities. It is also believed that having a disability is a result of sins committed in a previous existence, the fault of an ancestor, or a wicked ghost. Traditions hold that a child's disability is directly related to the mother's violation of taboos during pregnancy, such as using scissors, knives, or sharp objects because they may cause a miscarriage or birth defects. The Korean population reported few concerns regarding audiologic and oral rehabilitation. In the research article, Unmet Healthcare Needs of Elderly People in Korea by Kim et al. In 2018, they define unmet healthcare needs as the lack of services judged necessary to avoid negative health consequences. The authors found that in Korea, the medical insurance system, which extends to all citizens to improve access to medical services, still requires a high out-of-pocket expense. Main points of the article were availability of services, availability and accessibility and acceptability of available services. Availability of services refers to the amount of time possible consumers have to wait before receiving care or the service is not available in their area. If the latter is the face of the situation, then accessibility comes into play with cost. Cost of service, lack of transportation, and possibly the cost of transportation. Acceptability of available services refers to the population's attitude toward healthcare and knowledge of healthcare. How do Korean cultural norms impact service delivery? Service delivery may interfere with the client's religion. For example, if they follow Buddhist or Confucian doctrine, the view is that illness and death are a natural part of life. A solution or aid to support the audiologic and oral rehabilitation concerns may not be sought out. The delivery may hinder a client's karma. The loss or decline of hearing abilities can be seen as bad luck, misfortune, or the result of their karma for something they did wrong in the past. Lastly, the client may prefer care from a Hanui, a traditional herbal doctor. Hanyak or herbal medicines are widely used and could be sought out before services from a speech language pathologist or audiologist. As we talk about the audiologic and oral concerns in the Korean population, keep in mind the roles and responsibilities that SLPs should implement as appropriate. As situations see fit, conduct a speech and language screening or comprehensive assessment, as well as a review of functional auditory skills. Develop and implement an oral rehabilitation plan of care and provide training for your client. ASHA tells us the goals of an oral rehabilitation assessment include identifying the impact of hearing loss and/or other hearing complaints on communication, activities, participation, interactions with communicative partners, and quality of life. Depending on a person's needs, a needs assessment, screening measure, or assessment measure can be implemented. Examples of each are listed on this slide. There are specific materials for bilingual therapy that can improve the quality of service provided for Korean clients. A written or oral case history can be implemented, as well as utilizing an interpreter for clear delivery of information. This image is an example of a case history document for Korean clients and can be edited as needed. Assessing Asian language performance presents important information about cultural differences in the pragmatic uses of language and articulation and language differences between English and the inquiring language. Here is some advice on the Korean culture. Respect familial roles. Be conscious of educational beliefs. Familiarize yourself with eye contact rules and the use of nonverbal communication. Respect their cultural beliefs and avoid stereotypes. This information is foundational and should be built upon through additional research. Taking the time to find correct information regarding our clients helps build rapport and trust as you both continue your client-therapist relationship. Here are the references used to create this presentation. Thank you.